we formally start our lesson for today, may I request everyone to please bow down their head and feel the presence of the Lord. Dear God, thank you for your unconditional love. Thank you for guiding and protecting us every day. Thank you for looking after our school and bestowing unto us the gift of life. Forgive each every one of us and help us to learn and share together so that this wonderful word you have made become more beautiful every day. Amen.
Our topic for today is all about simplifying radicals. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to derive the laws of radical and simplify radical expression using the laws of radicals. So what are the laws of radicals? Okay, so we have here law number 1, root of a product or product rule for radicals. So we have nth root of AB is equal to nth root of A times the nth root of B. Okay, next one is we have law number 2, a root of a quotient or quotient rule for radicals. So we have nth root of A divided by B is equal to nth root of A divided by nth root of B. Okay, so now let's proceed to rule or law number 3. So we have the fractional exponent rule. So what is the fractional exponent rule? So we have the nth root of a raised to m is equal to a raised to m divided by n. So as I've said last week, the denominator of the fraction would be the index and the numerator is the exponent of the radicand. Okay, so next law we have here root of the root rule for radicals. So the root of the root rule for radicals is the nth root of m root of a is equal to n times m root of a. So that is the root of the root rule for radicals. Okay. So now let's proceed to the different conditions in radicals to be said in simplified form. So we have here condition number 1, the radicand cannot be factored anymore, which means it is perfect in the nth root. Okay, condition number 2, we have the index x is in the simplest form. And then we have the expression in fraction form does not contain a radical in the denominator. Okay, so we have here different examples on simplifying radicals. So we have here number 1, let us try to simplify square root of 18. Okay, so the radicand, as you can see, the radicand is not perfect square. So we need to factor 18 or hanapin natin yung factor ng 18 na perfect square. Okay, so here is the solution on how to simplify square root of 18. So the factor of square root of 18 is square root of 9 times 2. Since 9 here is a perfect square. So square root of 9 is equal to 3. So ilalabas na po natin siya. So we have the final answer. 3 is square root of 3. Okay, so another example, we have to simplify square root of 12. So as you can see, the radicand is not the perfect square. So we need to factor 12. So hanapin natin yung isang factor ng 12 na perfect square. Okay, so what is the factor of 12? So we have 4 square root of 4 times 3. Okay? So, we need to get the square root of 4. So, the answer is 2, which is in outside or it, which we need to write it outside the radical sign. So, magiging sagot natin dyan ay 2 square root of 3. So that is the simplest form of square root of 12. Okay, so now let's proceed to example number 3. Okay, so we need to simplify square root of 16x raised to 4, y raised to 6. Okay, so we need to factor the radicand since the index is 2. Okay, so what do you think is the factor of 16? Okay, so we need to factor 16 as 4 raised to 2 and then times x raised to 4 times y raised to 6. Okay, so the square root of 4 raised to 2 is equal to 4. So ilalabas na natin ngayon si 4 square. And then, maghanap na lang tayo, divide lang po natin yung exponent ng x sa may index. Since ang index kasi natin dito ay 2, so 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2. So we have 4x squared. And then, dito naman sa y raised to 6, divide lang po natin sa may index, which is 2. So we have 6 divided by 2 is equal to 3. So that is the final answer. The simplest form of square root of 16x raised to 4, y raised to 6 is equal to 4x squared, y raised to 3. Okay, so now let's proceed to example number 4. We have to simplify the fourth root of 81x raised to 5, y raised to 3. So we have, okay, so we need to factor 81. Okay, the factor of 81 is 3 raised to 4. So as we multiplied, if you multiply 4 times yung 3, magiging ang sagot po kasi dyan ay 81, kaya 3 raised to 4. And then, we need to factor x raised to 5 as x raised to 4 times x. And then, wala naman na po pwedeng factor dito since y raised to 3 and 3 cannot be divided into 4. Okay? So, we have, ilabas po natin, the fourth root of 3 raised to 4 is equal to 3. So, sulat natin sa labas. And the fourth root of x raised to 4 is equal to x. So, may iwan na lang dito sa loob ng radical sign ay x times y raised to 3. Okay? So, the simplified form of fourth root of 81x raised to 5, y raised to 3 is 3x. Fourth root of xy raised to 3. Okay, so now let's proceed to example number 5. So we need to simplify square root of 5 over 3. So applying the quotient rule for radicals, we have square root of 5 divided by square root of 3. Okay, so we need to rationalize the denominator since hindi po pwede na magkaroon ng radical sign sa denominator natin. So, multiply natin both by square root of 3. So, we have the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is equal to square root of 9. And the square root of 9 is equal to 3. Then, square root of 5 times square root of 3 is equal to square root of 15. So, the simplified form of square root of 5 over 3 is equal to square root of 15 over 3. Okay, so now let's proceed to example number 6. We need to simplify the cube root of 4 over x. Okay, so apply po natin yung quotient rule for radicals. So we have the cube root of 4 divided by the cube root of x. So we need to rationalize the denominator by multiplying both sides by square root of x squared. Cube root of x squared. Ma, bakit po cube root of x squared yung minultiply po natin? Para po, hanapin po kasi natin yung perfect cube ng x. Since if we multiply x by x raised to 2, magiging x raised to 3. And x raised to 3 is a perfect cube. Okay? So we have cube root of 4 times cube root of x square is equal to cube root of 4x square. And the cube root of x times the cube root of x square is equal to cube root of x cube. Okay, so simplify po natin. So magiging sagot natin ay cube root of 4x squared divided by x. So that is the final answer. Okay, so now let's proceed to example number 7. We need to simplify fourth root of 36. Okay, so we need to write the radical expression in exponential form. So the exponential form of this expression is 36 raised to 1/4. Okay? And then we need to factor 36, and the factor of 36 is 6 raised to 2. So we have 6 raised to 2 raised to 1/4. Okay? So product rule of laws of exponent, power of a power. So we need to multiply 2 times 1/4 is equal to 2/4. Okay? So next is we need to simplify 2/4. So the simplest form of 2/4 is 1/2. So we have 6 raised to 1/2. And then 6 raised to 1/2, if we're going to write it in a radical form, ang magiging sagot na ngayon natin dyan ay square root of 6. So that is the simplified form of fourth root of 36. Okay, next one, we need to simplify the 12th root of 16x raised to 8, y raised to 4. Okay, so first step, we need to write the radical in exponential form. So the exponential form of this expression is 16x raised to 8, y raised to 4, quantity raised to 1/12. Okay, so applying the laws of exponent, so the power of a power, we need to multiply. So we have 2 raised to 4/12, x raised to 8/12, y raised to 4/12. Ma'am, paano po naging ganyan? Okay? Since if we're going to change 16 sa exponential form, magiging 2 raised to 4. If we multiply 2 4 times, okay, so we have 16. So same lang sila. And then 4 times 1 is equal to 4. Then copy the denominator, so we have 2 raised to 4/12. And then x raised to 8 times 1 is equal to 8. So we have x raised to 8/12. And 4 times 1/12 is equal to 4/12. Okay, so next, simplify po natin yung exponent. So we have 2 raised to 1/3, x raised to 2/3, y raised to 1/3. Okay, so if we're going to write the exponential form in radical form, then our answer would be cube root of 2x squared y. So that is the simplified form of 12 root of 16x raised to 8, y raised to 4. Okay, so last example, so we have here. So now let's proceed to example number 9. We need to simplify the fourth root of 32x raised to 8, y raised to 5 divided by 4x raised to 3. So applying the quotient rule for radicals, we have the fourth root of 32x raised to 8, y raised to 5 divided by the fourth root of 4x raised to 3. Okay? So as I've said a while ago, hindi po pwede na magkaroon tayo ng radical sign sa denominator. So, anong gagawin natin? Okay, so we need to rationalize the denominator. Okay, so maghanap ngayon tayo ng number na pwedeng i-divide kay 4x cubed para maging perfect fourth root na siya. Okay, so we're going to multiply both sides by fourth root of 4 raised to 3 times x. Okay, so we have fourth root of 4 raised to 3 times x times 4 times 8. Paano po naging 4 times 8? The factor of 32 is 4 times 8. And then x raised to 8. Then factor po natin si y raised to 5. Diniretso ko na. So we have y raised to 4 times y. Okay, so we have fourth root of 4 raised to 3 times 4 is equal to 4 raised to 4. And then, so pwede na po nating ilabas si 4. Kaya po ganito yung sagot. Okay, and then 8 divided by 4 is equal to 2. So we have x raised to 2. And then the fourth root of y raised to 4 is equal to y. So may iwan na lang ngayon dyan sa loob ng radical sign ay si x, 8, and then si y. Kaya po 8xy. And then the fourth root of 4 raised to 4, x raised to 4 is equal to 4x. So that is the simplified form of fourth root of 32x raised to 8, y raised to 5 divided by 4x raised to 3. Or, pwede pa pala natin i-simplify. So we have xy, fourth root of 8xy. Okay, so if you have any queries or may mga hindi kayo naintindihan sa lesson natin, feel free to ask me. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you and God bless.